Hi, I'm Dr. Gerald Deas. Welcome to Health Center from Downstate Medical Center. Today we're going to continue our subject called hand movements and hands. Lend a hand or whatever kind of hand you have in a sense, but the hands are so important. Hands, golly. Think of the ape. They can't use their hand like we have because they can't use just that. But think of how many things you get into occupational-wise that you can't use to even do that. It's called carpal tunnel syndrome. We're going to get into that also because I know many of you sitting out there right now are having hand trouble. And you go to your doctor and he might give you some anti-inflammatory agent, or he says, well, we'll put an injection into your wrists. It'll get better and so forth, which it never does get better from just the injection, things like this. Nobody talks about exercise. I remember in practice I used to have an arthritis patient with arthritic joints, for example. I'd give them a prescription for a wax bath where they could take wax that has a certain temperature, doesn't burn you, to put it in there, your hand in the wax, pull it out, let it solidify, put it in again, and maybe 10 times, and they were having beautiful heat. When they went and back into the waxer and pulled the wax off, hands were like this here. Just wax on the hands as such. And I used to order it. I used to write a prescription so they wouldn't have to pay for it to get a waxer for their hands and things like this. Doctors don't do that, look like today. All they want to do is give something that will take pain away. Pain is the worst thing to take away because it doesn't help the injury. It only stops the pain. And once it stops the pain, then you can continue on. But I have a guy here today, Dr. Tobin. I have to call him a doctor. Doctor, everybody talks, Tobin, about a doctor.
Yes.
The word doctor means one thing, to teach. Has no other thing. Now, you're a physician, it's different. Right. But a doctor means to teach.
Okay.
So I have to call you Dr. Tobin.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Deas.
Dr. Tobin with the hand. Doggone it. I saw Dr. Tobin one time way out on the island somewhere, and then somebody introduced me to you, and they had some kind of hand problems and so forth, and you seemingly helped them. And I said, hand? I said, what kind of stuff you do with the hand, Dr. Tobin, or Mr. Tobin? Well, I show people how they can get their hand healthy again, or keep their hand healthy. And so that led to inviting you to come here at Downstate Medical Center to talk about this, because the Downstate Medical Center tries to stay on the edge of things. It's not just because we have a medical school, a nursing school, or occupational therapy, all these kind of things. So when a person gets out of here, they can attack dis-ease.
Yes.
In many different ways.
Yes.
And when you have a dis-ease with your hands,
yes,
you're not easy using your hands. So maybe just a little background before we get into the topic of what you're actually doing, a little background.
Well, it's
of yourself in training.
Well, I've been a fitness consultant for many, many years.
Right.
I started actually 35 years ago.
Okay.
One of the pioneers of the fitness business. Okay. And I started when it did not exist. I was had one client, and 35 years later, I'm in the business. Now, I look at myself as an athletic hand strength specialist and sports product developer. Right. I invent products with compression and resistance. The things that I develop is very unique. It's the first ever. You have different products that is compressive. The product I developed has compression and resistance to strengthen the muscles. Which is very, very unique. I developed a glove. I developed a suit. It's not on the market yet, called S.U.N.Y. It's actually it's clothing that will strengthen the muscle when you walk. It has compression and resistance. There's a specific compressiveness based on the size of the body, so I can have the correct resistance. Then I have resistance that I can make the muscle work harder. It's so simple. It's similar to what my first product is, Thenar glove, and I took the same concept of Thenar glove to strengthen the hands, to eliminate pain, help persons function, and I made it in clothing also.
Well, so that's going to be gigantic.
Yes.
Business, because there's nothing worse than having arthritis hands.
Correct.
Or something that happened through a stroke or injury. think of the soldiers who had a hand
Oh,
injury, you know.
yes.
Down at Washington, they have that hospital to treat all these kind of things. They'll need you down there. The way we're fighting in wars and things like this, people are coming back with hand injuries.
Yes.
Can you imagine on the battlefield what the stress that the hand is under, pulling just that trigger?
Pulling the trigger. I've worked with military. Marine Corps has my system. I've worked with Police Academy, helping them function better with their hands, as well as professional sports.
I met you and you told me, I met you last summer.
Yes.
And you said you had this therapeutic hand. I said, boy, I got to let all these people around and listen to this health center to let this man talk about this therapeutic hand. Now you're talking about a therapeutic suit and therapeutic shoes pretty soon.
No, I actually I have it in the works for the future product. Is actually because I see the design of shoes is not functional for how the foot goes.
That's right.
Because
That's right.
In your shoes you don't use your toes.
Yeah,
You actually just roll instead of grabbing. So I developed actually an athletic shoe that you'll be able to use your toes inside your shoe, which will functionally make your foot work functionally.
Well, you know, they've taken a person that can run 100 miles, Indians, and they don't have running shoes on.
Yes.
They have moccasins.
Yes.
And that moccasin gives over each little thing a crevice as they walk.
Correct.
And right.
Yes.
These old clumpy shoes, people with all these colored laces, and they're running a mile. They ain't doing nothing for their feet.
Correct. And it's the same thing with the hands. So it's like there's nothing for the feet. So that's something that I have that's on my board for development.
Yes.
That I actually have a concept, and I'm doing step by step. I have Thenar glove, I have RS1 compression resistant suit, and I have the shoes, which is a functional grip shoe.
And please don't forget that shoulder.
Yes.
My Lord, people got so much trouble with their shoulder when they can't go up like this.
Well, one of the things is that by having hand strength, when you have weak hands, you're going to have a problem with your shoulders, because your shoulder problem is based on holding something heavy. No one has or range of motion.
Right.
So let's say if you never lifted anything, range of motion, you have to have flexibility in your shoulders.
Right, sure.
And there's stretching that you can do. Most people that I do know have had shoulder issues is based because they lift something and it's shoulder. Because if your hands are weak, you're going to have other muscle groups working that should not be working based on having a stronger hand. So the stronger your grip is, the less work the other part of your body will do.
Well, let's see how you're going to take with this glove that I looked at. And at least they're nice colors. People, you can wear them in the street, but I have trouble, say, making a snowball with these gloves. But
Let me tell you about it. Okay, this is Thenar glove. What is unique about Thenar glove is that it's compression and resistance.
Okay.
Thenar glove is color-coded based on the strength level.
Oh.
So this is each different strength levels. I have the blue level, the red level,
right,
and I also have the black level. This level is for top athletes, and I'll explain that.
Right.
This is a standard. And with this standard level, this has compression and resistance. There are specific functional finger moves I'm going to demonstrate for you.
Sure.
And taking it off. This is a glove that you do not use with anything. You do not hold on to hold. This glove has resistance. Each finger has its own resistance. So when you move the fingers, each different movement, each finger is strengthened. So I developed a complete system of functionally strengthening your hand, fingers, and wrist and forearm, extensors and flexors, that will allow you to maximize your hand strength. I did it in sports. So now, and I've worked with persons in the non-sports world of musicians, diabetic people had diabetic neuropathies, couldn't hold a cup, stroke persons. One of the things we're fascinated with the stroke persons is that prior, I would always try to get that hand working. The design of the glove is difficult because a lot of times that it's not so much as difficult, but the fingers collapse on a stroke person. Recently, what I discovered is work with the stronger hand, that is their non-dominant hand, because generally most stroke persons have it on the right side. And most people are right-handed in our society. However, now they have to go to the non-dominant hand. So now I'm focusing on strengthening the dominant hand, the non-dominant hand that has not been injured, so they can maximize their performance because they're not used to using it. And then focus on the hand that has been injured.
That's very important. So important.
No one is doing it. Everyone is trying to get this to normal.
Right.
And most times you're not going to get it back because of brain damage.
Surely.
The nerves have been affected, and no matter what, if the nerve pattern is gone,
Sure.
I cannot stiffen my hand to put the glove on.
That's right.
Unless I open the glove and close it. So now what I started to do is focus on the opposite hand to give that strength, so now they will no longer have a problem of functioning.
So I never thought of it in that sense, you know, but the body is giving information to the brain.
Yes.
Like this, you know.
Yes.
Of course.
So that's what I'm
things and
starting
such,
to do.
you know, yes.
And this is the blue level that you would start.
I see.
You start on the blue level, which is the easiest level. And in sports, I have found, working with even professional athletes in the NFL, the fingers are weak. No one strengthens the fingers at all. Functionally strengthen the fingers. Let me get functional strengthening of the fingers is, this is a functional movement. Open and close.
Right, sure.
Open and close is a functional movement for a concentric closing. The different items that people use, such as a ball, any type of, is not a functional grip.
That's right.
Because the hand is in this position.
Yeah.
Also, which is fascinating, is that the thumb itself is not being used.
At all.
At all.
That's right.
With Thenar glove, which I'll put on, I will show you how the thumb is actually used. I'm going to give you a glove. Which hand do you want?
The right hand.
Give you your right hand?
Yeah.
You know, it has a Velcro enclosure. It's a snug fit. Very snug fit. And on the back, it's a snug fit.
I don't know.
It's custom design. You'll get it on.
Okay.
Dr. Deas, you have a hand, my fingers are size 11. You're possibly about a size 12, 13.
Right.
You will get it on. It's a snug fit. See, so you have that hand size that is slightly bigger than most, because I can get it on and your hands are better. Let me give you the red size, because this is, your hand's a little too big.
Okay.
Make sure
I think I can get it on, though.
Yes, you can get it on. Let me make this size. What happens is that your hands are, you have big hands.
Yeah.
This is actually for a large,
Yeah.
and you have actually a large plus.
Wait till my wife sees this. She says, "Now why couldn't you get that glove on?"
Right. You know, because it's large plus. Actually,
understand.
these gloves, and how I figured the gloves out, you measure for the first line from the middle finger to the first line below your palm.
I see.
And then the ring circumference.
I see.
What happens, you have a ring circumference that is, and this is go up to a size 12, and looking at your fingers, you might be a size 13.
13. So, oh, yeah, well, I do have, they always told me I could never be a surgeon because my hands are too large.
There you go. Right. So you would actually be a Thenar. You'll be a gloves have different measurements. You'll be a Thenar extra large.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's only difficult for you to get on only because this is set for a large hand.
I can see my hand slipping right on in now.
This is for a large hand.
Yeah, sure.
And your hands are extra large.
Right.
And I found that unless it's a customized size,
Yes.
practically, and also, this is a big key, there's a correlation between your height and hand size.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I see.
Up to about 6'4", this would be actually fit perfectly.
Right.
There are persons who have large hands.
Yes.
And your hands are very large. And it's the ring size. My ring size is 11, you're probably about a 13.
Right.
So actually, when you put it on, you cinch it between the fingers.
Yeah, right.
Put it right on.
And
I'm not going to give you too much because that's the red level.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And you want the blue level. This is the blue level. See, so this is actual large, and you have extra large hands.
Right.
So this is the movements. I'm going to demonstrate the movements without the glove first. You have the power method. This is opening and closing your hand to a firm grip.
Right.
Then you have serpentine. Each finger, reason that this is good, this strengthens the extensors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and close with the thumb.
Sure.
But if you notice, each finger separates and closes.
Oh, yeah.
What this actually strengthens the interosseous.
Oh, I see.
Interosseous controls the flexion of the fingers.
Yes.
Now, and then I have the grip method. This method is extremely important, grip. Knuckles do not bend, fingers straight down. Correct. This is very important.
I see.
There's other movements also, but those are the main movements. And then there's one more, it's the claw. This is the palm open, just like you open a jar. Just bring it up too much, just first digit.
I see. You know, and sometimes I even go.
Well, that's part of the therapy, right. So I'm just going to demonstrate. You have power method, open and close.
Right.
You have serpentine.
Oh, yes.
You have claw.
I see.
The jar. Open the jar. And you have grip.
Right.
Bringing the finger straight down.
Yeah, I see that.
This glove has resistance. Now with the thumb, you can actually do the thumb where it's bending the thumb and go over to the pinky, or just thumb straight down.
Right.
So you can actually, also you can actually.
Yeah, right.
Each finger, strengthen each finger. Then you have another movement, just flexion of the knuckles to strengthen the lumbricals. It's part of the hand that most people do not think about strengthening.
You know, as I'm doing this right now, because this is my hand I was having trouble with too, already it has kind of a feeling that it's giving resistance, but at the same time it feels therapeutic.
Well, inside the glove there's a specialized polymer that I've been able to, I discovered. I didn't discover it, but I found it for my particular product.
Yes.
You know, and I patented, this is a patented product. And it has resistance that when you apply pressure, it goes back to its original form. So this glove does not wear out. I have used my glove successfully, my personal glove, for 3 years, and I've had thousands of repetitions using the glove. And I never had one return of the glove. The success rate is about 100%, as 100, because no one strengthens fingers and hands. So I'm guaranteed having success because no one strengthens fingers and hands.
You know, I'm going to tell you, this is revolutionary only because I'm sure glad we saved you for Downstate. Because Downstate now is going to have all these calls and say, I got to get myself that trainer to get my hands back in shape, because I've been using that typewriter so long and that digital thing and so forth. My hands are really not up to par, and it's so serious that we don't know. Like, if I remember when I was a kid and you do something bad, somebody said, "I'll slap you upside your head." Slap you. This glove on now.
Oh, please,
knock this sense right back.
Well, just for the viewers, this glove only weighs, to both gloves, it's like, I forgot how many ounces. I think it's about 12 ounces.
Yeah. 12
ounces. It only looks like it's heavy. It's very, very light.
Yeah, it is.
And its design, the design of this glove is very difficult to make. I have gone to 6 different countries to get it made.
Wow.
6 different countries from R&D, and I've finally, after traveling in parts of the world, what is unique about this, it has 21 different parts. Oh. And it has to be precise. So when I bend the fingers of the glove, each finger has to be in the exact position. If the stitching is off, I cannot use the glove. Because the fingers have to be exact in the bending and flexion.
So in other words, you're an engineer of the hand.
Yes. Yes.
Engineering is, you wouldn't put a building to look like this.
Correct.
You wouldn't put a building to look like this. Because it would be, finally, although they found that's how gravity was found, because the building was like that. But no, but seriously speaking, it's so important what you're saying now, because it all is anatomically, God made us with a beautiful body, perfect things. Now the way we've used it and overused it and abused it, then we have trouble with it.
Yes.
You know, and you can't pray it out. No. In a sense, you have to learn the prayer. At the same time, you do the exercise. I know that you know, people will pray over things, and you believe me, I've taught Sunday school for many years, and prayer is one of my main things in there. But I don't leave the what God gave us to use out of the picture. In a sense, you have to put that in the picture, because that'll give you the ability even to slip on this glove to fit like this.
Yes.
You know, because you have to have a well-being.
Yeah, and you know, like I said, it came in a dream.
Yes.
And I had to figure it out, find the product. There's no one in front of me. There's no mentor.
Right.
And I had to take what I knew. I had to use my common sense.
Right, sure.
And figure it out.
Yes.
You know, when you do not have anyone like guiding, so I had to find trial and error. I had to go to stores, test products, and I challenged a company that used the inside material totally different to make my glove.
Okay.
And he said to me, I think I can do it. And I said, I don't want your thoughts. I want you to try to make it.
That's right.
And after pushing, and he was able to make it. So this glove is unique. It's the only one that exists. I'm putting sensors in this glove also.
Okay.
Sensors, so therefore, you will be able to have your iPhone, or your smartphone, I should say smartphone, and your computer. So when I'll be able, you can move your fingers, and you can see how much work the hand is actually doing, functionally doing.
Oh, yes.
So that's what the future is, putting sensors.
You know, when I looked at your signature that you have on your shirt with that N in there, you said that was a bolt of lightning.
The lightning bolt. So this is it's the source of strength. So whenever you see the lightning bolt, if you never see the name Thenar, which Thenar is the thenar eminence that adducts the thumb.
Oh, I see. Okay.
This is where Thenar comes from. Thenar is muscle in the thumb that
That's
adducts
right.
the thumb.
That's right.
And this is the lightning bolt. So whenever you see this lightning bolt, you know it's a source of strength.
Yeah, that's interesting. Glad I thought of the N-word.
Yes. So we look at, even though it's the end in spelling, it's the lightning bolt. So when you see that,
yes.
so that's what the
But
key is to the source of
this
strength.
has really been a revolution type of programming today to be able to present this the way it should be presented on television. I know from what you're doing today, all these stations will be calling you up and say, yeah, could you tell us about that glove?
Right. And it's a standalone product. You do not hold on to anything. As you see, all the muscles that you have with the hand, all this is functional. If you see that I can actually flex each muscle. I say I'm very good at showing my product and the muscle it is.
Yeah.
Even if I move it here, you actually see the movement of the hand and the muscles and the extensors. Each movement of the finger,
it's just wonderful.
the thumb.
You know, in medical school, believe it or not, the first 6 months is dissecting a cadaver.
Yes.
I agree that's how you can see what the thing looks like, where it's attached to, but nobody talks about the function of those muscles as you're dissecting them. I would like you even to come back to school here, medical school, and meet the head of our anatomy department that teaches anatomy, to be able to teach the hand itself.
That would be fun.
You
That
know,
would be great.
as a dissecting, not ask the question what muscle this is, but what does this muscle do?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So I will have you to join our, see if we can have you join our anatomy department and let the be part of their course of the movement of the hand. Because you know,
it's never been addressed.
Never been addressed. And any of the schools in medicine, name the muscle, where's the nerve supply, blood supply, bingo, you know, that's finished. But nobody said, well, look, we're going to show you how, by the time you get out of this course and get into your other 3 years, that when a person comes in with their hand like this, or their hand is this or that you won't have something to say to them more than, well, exercise, here's a ball. Exercise.
It's not a functional movement. It's not a functional movement.
Not a functional.
All this is
and all these
movement.
people, all they do is give you these loose punches. You know, totally out of sync.
Yes, yes.
So I think that with this Thenar, now I know why the Thenar muscle here. I'm sure I was able to put on this glove. I'm not, and I tell you, this is better than a gun because at least you sock somebody.
Stand alone. You don't use it to hurt anyone. But you'll strengthen your fingers to use it. That you'll have a strong fist and a strong grip.
That's right.
Yes.
And the next thing you'll be bringing in that knee, and I know everybody has a knee problem. You know?
Yes.
But listen, it's been a pleasure.
My pleasure.
You know,
my pleasure.
I don't know how this glove, man. I might have to keep it, man, and eat lunch.
Well, you know, I'm gonna make sure you have one.
Because I really am serious. In meeting you, it was kind of godly movement too, because it was somebody I knew, and they knew you, and they knew what you were doing, and I said, I'm going to get in touch with you, and I did get in touch with you.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
I didn't leave you floating out there saying, oh, he had an interesting thing, so thanks so much for coming.
My pleasure, Dr. Deas.
So you folks, Tobin got something going on here. If you want to hold somebody's hand, you know the first thing you do when you get kind of chummy with some girl, boy gets into, they want to hold hands, let no possession, you know, this is mine. Well, this is yours. It's more than mine. It's yours, and it belongs to you. And it's your first love should be your hands, because you got to eat with it, you got to sleep with it, you got to rub your eyes with it, you got to scratch with it, you got to scrub with it, you got to do everything with it, and we take it for granted. I see so many men in the field with jackhammers. Jackhammers. What do you think that's doing to the hand? What do you think those guys out there that's with those jackhammers breaking up concrete? Isn't there rehab for something like that? Is there prevention of something like that? So we'll see you the next time, and we hope next time I can bring you on something maybe with the feet. So I'll see you. This is Dr. Deas.